everyone, welcome to the OklaRoots YouTube channel. In today's embroidery tutorial, we're gonna mix it up a bit. We're gonna try something out that is totally brand new to me. I actually haven't even finished it yet, so I can't show you the finished product. We're just gonna have to imagine it and work together on it. Today, we're gonna be making a standing free lace gift box, and this design comes from OESD. Now I'm gonna pop a picture right over here of what the website shows for this gift box. And this is a totally unique idea to me. We're gonna use our embroidery machine. I've already made a few panels, so I'll show this to you. We're gonna use our embroidery machine to make lace. Now let me put it in front of my shirt, you can see it better. Look at this. This is just thread. What? I know, this is so wild, but I've been looking at this for a while, and you make these lace panels and then you put them together and you have a little gift box or a rocking horse or a gingerbread house or a whole city. I mean, there are so many cool designs on the site. I am overwhelmed. I'm completely overwhelmed. So the trick to this is having the right stabilizer, which we will talk about, having the right type of material to stitch the designs on. We're gonna use a wash away, but we need a good wash away. So we're gonna talk about that some more. If you are kind of overwhelmed by this and you're like, I really want to do it, but I don't know all the stuff I need, OESD does have kits, and I will have them linked in the description of this video. If there is a kit in there that you'd really like us to go through, you let me know and I will go buy it. I mean, there is a blue phone box. There is a rocking horse. There are these little turkey table settings. There's the gingerbread house. The gingerbread house has been looking at me for a while, and I think we're gonna have to do that one. But let me know if there's a design down there that you see and you want us to put together. Today, we're gonna try to keep it somewhat basic. We're gonna be doing a gift box. So we pretty much have 6 panels. We have 4 sides and then a bottom and a top. So I will show you, I've already made the 4 sides, and this is all white thread, just white thread, but it's actually glow in the dark. Because you know I can't just use white thread. Like, I had to do it a little extra. So this is white thread and it's glow in the dark. And we're gonna put this together. I've already made the top and I've kind of pieced it together. This is the top, you see, and I actually used this beautiful Christmas variegated thread. You guys, lace with variegated thread. You guys know how much I love my variegated thread. But I mean, look at it with the lace. Just look at it with the lace. It is gorgeous. So we're gonna have this nice little top and bottom like that. We're gonna make the bottom panel using variegated thread today in the video, and we're also gonna make this little applique lace gift tag. So I haven't done that yet. We're gonna work through that together, and then we're gonna put it all together on the video. One thing I wanna mention is that this lace, it is a lot of stitches, like a lot of stitches. The nice thing about it is that it's only one color, so if you have a single needle machine, this is gonna be perfect for that. You don't need a multi-needle machine. We're not switching out colors really, we're just doing one thread and it just goes. So that's great. However, this top right here, this is just the lid, and so you can see it kind of bends down. This was about 80,000 stitches, which takes a while to run. So you fill up your bobbins, okay? Make sure you got lots of bobbins. Each one of these was about 47,000 stitches. They didn't take quite as long to run, but lace is going to require a lot more stitches than normal just embroidery designs that kind of look like this on a piece of fabric, because we need the thread to hold it all together, right? We don't want to wash away the interfacing and then everything unravels, which is how my mom asked. She was like, I don't understand, if you wash away what it's stitched onto, how does it not all unravel? It's magic. So thank you so much to OESD for allowing me to use your embroidery patterns in my tutorials. I'm so excited to do this. Go look them up. They're based out of Oklahoma. I never got to visit them when I lived in Oklahoma, but I wish I did. I'm so excited to be working with an Oklahoma-based company today. If you're new to the OklaRoots YouTube channel, please consider clicking subscribe down below. We have sewing tutorials every Monday, and then other tutorials on Thursdays, usually embroidery. If you like this video at any point, please give it a like. Any questions, comments, shoutouts, anything at all, leave them down below. Any suggestions of other free lace you want to do, leave them down below. I'm very excited about this. All right, guys, let's get started and talk about how we're going to do this. So number 1, we want a wash away stabilizer here. We want to be able to just dunk the design. That's right, you're going to dunk the design in some water and let all of that stabilizer just melt away and then lay it flat to dry. So you need a wash away stabilizer that's going to do that, but that's also beefy enough to handle 80,000 stitches. There are a lot of wash away stabilizers out there. A lot of the times the stuff you put on top of like a design for a beanie, you don't want to use that. That stuff is way too thin. It will just crumble underneath all of these stitches and it will fall out and it'll be a mess and you'll be so sad. So I do highly, highly suggest getting this. This is the OESD Badge Master Stabilizer. It is clear, it is heavy duty. It feels like a pretty substantial plastic. However, it washes away, melts away in water. You don't have to actually wash this in a washing machine or anything like that. You're just gonna put it in a little bowl or plate of water and it comes right off, but it leaves enough of it in there to make this nice and firm. You can see this is not even like a thin piece of fabric. This is nice and beefy. So I highly suggest you get this. This is the Badge Master OESD. I will have a link down below. Next up, you're gonna need your bobbins. I'm actually gonna be using my multi-needle machine today just because it's kind of what I already have set up. So I'm gonna be using these magnetic bobbins. I get asked about this stuff a lot. These are just these small, they have cardboard inside. This one's coming undone. They have cardboard inside and a little magnet on one side. So I don't know if you can see. There's a little magnet right there, a little black strip. The other side has no magnet. And then you just throw them away when you're done with them when they're empty. So I don't have to wind anything. If you want to wind your bobbin, definitely do that because here's the thing. You are going to see the back side of this. Now, when the box is closed up, you really won't see the back of it. But with lace, you see both sides, right? So if you want to change your bobbin thread to a color, definitely do that. I think that would be great. I don't know if you can see on this one, my bobbin was actually black. And then over here on the sides, I changed it to white. So you will see the bobbin a bit. So like this one here, I probably wouldn't use a black colored bobbin with this, but a like light pink bobbin or something. Have fun with this. You guys have fun with this. This is fun. This is a fun project. Okay, next up, the thread. I will be using variegated thread today. This is not the color. I'm using the red and green and white. It's already on my machine. Variegated thread is super fun with lace because it's all the different colors. I just give it a try. It's fun. And then the white thread that I'm using, I'll have it linked down below. Like I said, it's a glow-in-the-dark thread, and it is from Wonderground Fabrics, so I'll have that linked. So the machine I will be stitching on today is my Ricoma EM1010. It is a 10-needle embroidery machine. It is a very, very good beginner, home-based, getting into business embroidery machine. I highly recommend it. It's very intuitive, very easy to use. Lots of training that goes with it. I just purchased a second embroidery machine from a different company, which I also completely adore, but it's definitely made for a bigger business. So we're adjusting to that. My Ricoma, though, came home to me. I love having it here. You guys will see it in action. To go with it, I'm going to be using my Mighty hoops. Today, I'm using the hoop size 8 inches by 9 inches. Right? Yeah, this is the 8-inch by 9-inch Mighty hoop. Highly suggest it. I'm going to be using this tool as well, which they sent over to me, and I'll show you how we do that. Here's the thing. With this particular design, a 5-inch by 7-inch hoop is not going to work with the design as is. So the thing is, with this particular design, the lid is bigger than 5 inches anyway. So a 5-inch by 7-inch hoop is not going to be big enough for this project. However, if you wanted to resize it, you could. Just make sure you use the right type of software, or if you're going to use your machine to resize it, make sure that it reduces the stitch count. You can resize this. I haven't done it yet. I promise I will try resizing this design so that we can do it on a 5-inch by 7-inch hoop, but I haven't done it yet. So you're gonna need a bigger than 5-inch by 7-inch hoop for this particular lace project. There are others though where you can use a smaller hoop. So almost all of the panels will be done in my 8-inch by 9-inch hoop, except for one. There is a small tag. Badge Master stabilizer is not the most inexpensive material in the world, so I really don't want to use a bunch of this for a small piece. You want to use the smallest hoop you can that fits the design. So I'll be using this smaller hoop here. I don't even know. This is like 4 inches by 4-inch hoop. This came with my Ricoma. I'm going to use that for the smaller applique design. Okay, next, the smaller tools. You need this thing. I forgot what this thing is called. It has a special name, but look at this. It looks like scissors. It's not scissors. Let me see. So you see that? And then look, when I open it up down here, can you see? Look, hello. These are cool. You're gonna need these for free lace 3D designs, and I'll show you why. We gotta grab things in small places, and it's a whole thing. It does suggest you use these little like alligator clasps that we've used for mask chains and things. I don't have those out. If we need them, I'll grab them. I'm going to try to use these little clover clips for that instead. And this is just to kind of hold it together while you're building it. It's like Legos, you know, like you gotta put together the little pieces and you gotta hold it together while you work on the next section. We'll see how that goes. And then always some tweezers and some small snips just for cleaning things up. There's really not a whole lot to clean up here. This is such an easy, this is a fun embroidery project because you can just kind of set your machine, and as long as it behaves, you can just walk away, and then you come back and then you dissolve the stuff and you put it all together, and it's like, this would be fun for like a holiday family activity. So if you have your embroidery machine, you can have the kids pick out all of the fun threads and like pick out all the things for the lace, and then just have it kind of run, like have it running while you know, they're outside playing and you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner, or if it's Christmas, you know, just have the machine, that beautiful embroidery machine just humming in the background. I love that sound. Just have that working throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, you have all the panels done, and then all the kids can put together their little houses or their little turkeys. I love that idea. I love it so much. I think we're gonna definitely do that this year. Okay, so the first thing we gotta do is hoop our stabilizer, and then we'll go pop it into the machine. Okay, so here's a bit of a closer look if you'd like to see the embroidery a little bit more. I'm not sure if you can see it in detail, but it is very intricate. Do you see that? Lots and lots of little lines and texture and density. I mean, it is a work of art. It's absolutely beautiful. And the things we can do with this, I mean, we can incorporate this into bags, into clothing, as little home accessories, decorations. I love this. So this is what it looks like. You're gonna make 4 of these side panels, okay? And then you're going to make 1 top panel. Now I'll show you if I take this off like this. The top panel separates like this. You see all 4 of these corners separate and the whole thing lays flat. And what you end up having is a little loop and like a little nub. And all you have to do is put that nub in through the loop. Now, to make that easier, you're gonna use this little tool right here, because as you can see, we'll go over this more once we combine everything. You can easily fit this through the loop like that, and then you can open it up so that it grabs onto the little nub, and then just pull it through the loop, and that's nice and easy, and it stays very well. I mean, I'm blown away by this project. So let's first hoop the 8" by 9" hoop. So I've seen my friend Shayna show how to use this, and I didn't even know that you were supposed to keep this frame whenever I received these Mighty Hoops. So if you do order the Mighty Hoops and you get this frame, do not throw it out, okay? Make sure you keep it. It's super helpful. So I'm gonna show you how to use that. So I'm gonna take the bottom Mighty Hoop, and with the printed stickers, it's gonna be down like that, and then just the blank side is up. And then I'm gonna grab my Badge Master. And as it says, this is great for badges. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about badges on the channel. We will be making badges with this stuff. So I'm gonna grab some scissors and just cut right along the edge. Again, I only wanna use as much as I have to. A smaller hoop here would be better, but this is the hoop size that I have right now. So as I lay it over my bottom hoop, then I'm gonna take that little frame and I'm just going to rest it over it, and I can pop it down. And this way I can get my stabilizer or my fabric, whatever material I have, really taut before I put on the top magnet, which is so cool because the top magnet comes on so easily, but sometimes it can be a little fast and then it's a little crinkled or not quite perfect and you have to redo it. So this just makes it so much easier. So now I'm gonna grab my top hoop with the tape images side up and just boop, look at that. Isn't that great? Now, big thing, make sure you remove that little frame before you put it in the machine. Don't leave that on. So just take that off. What the what? Look at that beautiful magic. So this frame is ready to go. I'm gonna also hoop my stabilizer for this smaller frame. So this is the typical frame, just kind of tightening it out. So I'm just gonna make sure I get a piece of stabilizer that's big enough, but I don't need to use this whole piece, so I can save half of it. So let's lay our bottom hoop right side up, take our stabilizer, put it over it just like that. Take our top hoop and put it right side down so that it like peeks out a little bit. That pushes down. So we're just gonna push that down into our hoop like that, and then we'll just tighten it by just twisting the screw. All right, so now both of these are ready to go. Let's take it to the embroidery machine and start stitching up our design. So we're gonna load the bottom, which is file 903. So I'm gonna click OK. And as you can see, I have it up here on my screen. So now all I have to do is insert the hoop and trace it out. And my hoop is plenty big, so I'm not too worried about hitting anything. So I'm just gonna grab my hoop and insert it into the machine. So it looks like it's going to fit perfectly. So now we're just going to stitch this out. This bottom file is about 17,000 stitches, which is actually on the smaller side for these lace panels. So I think this is going to take not too long to do. And one thing to note about the bottom piece is that it is an applique design. So you don't have just one color. So when we go to set the colors for this, we're going to have a stitch out for the outline of the applique. And then we're going to have a stitch out to stitch down the fabric. And then we'll do the lace. So there's actually 3 steps to this. Make sure you remember that. You want to stop after the first and second steps. So this first step is just going to stitch out where we want to put our material. I'm going to be using waterproof canvas for this. So now grab yourself your material and make sure it covers it completely. If you're going to tape this down, just be careful that your tape doesn't pull on your wash away material too much. So now we're just going to start this and tack this down. So now let's grab our applique scissors and just trim right along the outer edge of this stitch so that we can cover that up with a satin stitch. Once you have that trimmed down, just snap it back into the machine. And now we're just going to let the lace part run. It's going to make a nice design over the fabric, and it's going to provide our little nubs and our loops on the sides to connect it all. So you can see on this one we have a few more steps. We're going to actually have an applique right here underneath the word joy. So I'm going to use some waterproof canvas for that, and then we're going to do the lace over it. So first we're going to stitch out the outline for the applique, lay down the applique, and then we'll do the lace. So now I'm going to place my small cut of waterproof canvas over it, and then this should tack that down. So now I'm going to remove this from the hoop, and I'm just going to cut the fabric right around the outside edge of the stitching very, very carefully, making sure I don't accidentally cut this badge master underneath it. So now that I have that cut down, I can put it back in the machine, and now we're just going to let it stitch out the lace and then write the word on here, and then we're done. This is a smaller file. It shouldn't take very long. Once it's done, you can remove it from the machine. So now let's take the design out of the hoop. And if you want, you can cut this down and save the edges of that badge master so you can use them for another project. If you use a really small hoop, you can use this again. I know this stuff is kind of pricey. And then what we're gonna do is take our unit and just put it in the water. Now I am using waterproof canvas here, so it's okay if it gets wet. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. If you're using quill cotton or something and you really don't wanna dunk it in the water, you don't have to. You can just spritz the edges with water and then pull away the wash away. But you can see by putting in the water, I can just easily pull this off. All right, once you have that removed, just lay it flat on a towel. And I like to give it a little press from the top as well. There we go. And then just lay that flat to dry. Now I'm gonna grab my hoop that has the tag in it, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna pop it out, and then I'm gonna put it in the water. There we go. And then it just takes a few seconds for it to dissolve right around the stitches, and you can kind of just shake it and then just pull it right out. Again, you don't have to dunk it in water. You could just spray it with a spray bottle and just kind of mist it, and that will do the same thing. So I'm gonna do that as well. I'm gonna lay that out on my towel and then just press it and keep it nice and flat. There we go. And now we're gonna let these dry while we work on the rest. So while those pieces dry, let's work on the sides of our box. So you're gonna lay this so that the flat edge that doesn't have any nubs or loops on it is going to be on the top, just like that. And we're gonna pair up the little nubs with the loops. I don't know what these are actually called. Buttons, let's call them buttons. Buttons with their loops. So let's just start with 2 of these. And this is where our tools are gonna come in handy. So let's see if these clips will work. So I'm just gonna push my little faux scissors through the loop and then pull the button through that loop. There we go. And then once I have that button through the loop, I'm gonna add a little clover clip on the button just to hold it in place. So now I'm gonna do the same thing with the other 2 buttons on this side. All right, so I have one corner done. Now I'm gonna repeat this with the other corner. And the big thing we wanna remember is that when we look at our lace, we have more of a flat side and then a embroidered 3-dimensional side. We want that 3-dimensional embroidered side to be facing outwards. So the more flat side should be facing in. And then also we need to make sure that the straight edges are all on the top right here. So the little nubs are gonna go on the bottom. Remember, we don't have to connect this to anything because we're gonna put a lid on the very top of this. So I just realized, but when you're doing this first set, make it so that the back side of the lace are back sides together. And that will make sure that you install these buttons into the loops correctly. Okay, so now we're gonna do the next one. And as long as you always have the same outside facing the right way, these should all line up. So on this next piece, I have the loops, and I'm gonna attach those to the buttons on the piece that's already attached. And honestly, I don't even think it needs the clips. These buttons are pretty tight through these loops, so I don't think that this would come undone while I'm working on it, but just to be careful, you know. All right, so now we just have the last corner to do. So those clips should be holding everything together so you don't have to worry about it coming undone. But we're just going to pull the buttons through the loops, just like we have been. All right, there we go. So this is essentially what the box looks like. That is so cute. So now let's get the bottom piece. So ideally, you're gonna let these pieces dry overnight so that they're not sticky, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to continue. So when you do the bottom piece, you want this to be fabric side up. So applique side up, and they should all be buttons, and we're just going to attach them to the bottom of our box. So it might be easier to do this by flipping it over. And then I'm just gonna start on the middle of one of my side panels and pull that button through the loop and just go around all 4 edges, pulling the 3 buttons on each side through their loops. And I am going to use clips again to hold this in place. Once you get 3 sides attached, it gets a lot easier to kind of hold this all together because now it's getting its box shape. All right, once you have it all attached, you can flip it over. And now we can just start taking off all these clips because we don't have to attach any more panels to this. Look how adorable this little box is. And it's gonna be a lot firmer once the bottom is completely dry. And then we can take our little lid and put the lid on top. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. In the picture as well, they have some ribbon kind of going through these slits here around the bottom so you could have a nice little bow on the top. How sweet is that? And if you did the ribbon, you could also add the little gift tag to the side. That is so cute. This is still not dry, so I'm not going to attach it just yet. But this is such a cute little project. All right, are you ready to see the finished product? It's so sweet. I love that we use that variegated thread on the top. Isn't that adorable? And then that white but glow-in-the-dark thread around the sides. And then when you open it up, you can see your applique inside. So you could use a really fun fabric for that. I do kind of wish I would have used like some sort of peppermint print or something like that for the bottom. And I think this would be so cute if you added the ribbon and you added the bow on top, and then of course add the little tag to the side like that. And then you could put in there like a little tea light and maybe some little goodies or something like that. And you could use these as place settings at Christmas time. How cute would that be on the Christmas table? Little tea light, little flicker. Or you could use it for kiddos, you know, for like, they could put their Santa letter in it, or you could put the cookies for Santa. I mean, there's just so many ideas. I love this. You don't even have to make it Christmas related, honestly. You can make it any season. These are just beautiful decor. So I hope you love doing lace as much as I do. This was brand new to me. This is the first time I've ever built something like this, and this will not be the last. Like I said, go check out the OESD website and make sure you look at all the little freestanding lace projects. I'm really hoping you guys want to do the gingerbread house because it's adorable. I hope you're having a great day. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Get out there and make something. Bye, guys.